Welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English Edition. As usual, we begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights as follow. The National Gendarmerie celebrates the 46th anniversary of its creation at the training center. Lula's return to the diplomatic scene. He met several world leaders in Brazil and the international scene. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The National Gendarmerie celebrated this Wednesday, January 4th, 2023, the 46th anniversary of its creation at the training center Sheikh Musa. The ceremony, rich in colors, was chaired by the Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed. The event was also attended by Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed Burhan, the Minister of Defense, responsible for relations with Parliament. Several ambassadors and heads of friendly countries, several members of government and parliament, Mr. the Prefect of Arta Mohammed Sheikh Hassanin, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Ilmi Bouh, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, the Representative of the Director General of the National Police, Colonel Umar Hassan, and the Director of the Prison Guard, Colonel Mohammed Sheikho. In the place of the report, the troop composed of three groups, namely the Judicial Group, the Specialized Group, and the Mobile Group, a platoon of GIGN, a block consisting exclusively of female personnel, have proceeded to the taking of arms. Right in their boots, some 560 men and women mobilized were placed under the orders of Lieutenant Colonel Abdi Daher for the taking up of the arms. After the welcome under the rhythm of the national anthem played by the ADF band, the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, first saluted the colors of the nation before conducting a review of the troops, accompanied by Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed, Minister of Defense and Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, and Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden. When the sponsor of the ceremony took his place on the official podium, the program began with the reading of Quranic verses. The Chief of the Staff of the Gendarmerie then reviewed the actions carried out during the past years and praised the commitment of the Gendarmeries for their determination to give the best of themselves in carrying out the missions entrusted to them. He continued that this is why the Gendarmerie, true to its motto, must preserve its value of excellence, discipline, and professionalism before recalling the preponderant place it gives to the training of the Gendarmeries. In his speech, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden thanked His Excellency the Prime Minister of Defense for sponsoring the event, as well as the members of the government, diplomatic representations, and military authorities for their presence, and did not fail to pay tribute to the gendarmeries who have fallen in service. In his turn delivered on the occasion, the Minister of Defense said that the event has become a tradition and is an opportunity for me to remind you of the attachment and confidence that the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, all members of the government, and the population have in your institution. Continuing his speech, he said that the Gendarmerie is a public service that the population always holds in high esteem because it knows your unwavering commitment to the law, peace, and security of our citizens. For his turn, His Excellency the Prime Minister also expressed himself in these words. The Gendarmerie, as it does so well, must continue to take up the challenge of experimentality. Your institution is a pillar of the authority of the state. Further on, the President of the ceremony recalled how much the establishment of the School of Training to the practice of the judicial police honors once again the interest that our country grants to make of your institution a modern force of Gendarmerie, strong of its competence, its expertise, and its rigor. We'll listen to him.
De la nouvelle année 2023, de souhaiter mes meilleurs vœux à vous tous ici présents et par là même à l'ensemble de la nation djiboutienne.
Allow me first of all to wish you all a happy new year and at the same time the entire Djiboutian nation, foreign resident and the forces of a friendly nation present on our soil on the occasion of the New Year 2023. This anniversary constitutes an opportunity for me to learn about the various activities carried out by the gendarmeries during the year 2022, but also to learn about its future project. The gendarmerie must, as it does so well, continue to address the challenge of the paradigm. Your institution is a pillar of state power. Being a member of National Gendarmerie requires great courage in your security and investigative mission because in the face of violence, delinquency and crime that any society suffers from, the Gendarmerie as well as police officials are on the front line. Together we are our strongest in defense of the Republic and the rule of law. Likewise, belonging to the Gendarmerie means facing the challenges of proximity by protecting our citizens, especially the weakest of them who are primarily victims of crime and lies or your duties. The terrorist threat is present in the neighboring countries of our dear Republic more than ever before. The nation is counting on you and all the security forces to protect it from these terrorist enemies who recently tracked our land and practice the indiscriminate violence. You are the ones fighting this battle that concern all of us. This is the whole meaning of decision making and decision taken by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, Supreme Commander of the Army Forces, so that the security forces are mobilized around a clear vision of security governance. I have listened with great interest to the Gendarmerie's overall activities in the past years and its proposed and its prospect for 2023. I remain convinced that in addition to the acquisition of high performance equipment and infrastructure, the training and development of gendarmerie personnel remains an essential element in the development of the capabilities of our men and women, and it is also the key to the success of the quality of our mission.
After the laying of their wets, the officials followed a demonstration of the dog squad's know-how. These demonstration exercises are carried out in extreme conditions which are close to a reality. Thus, the gendarme, a dog hunter, and a dog trained in the detection of explosives and firearms, is responsible for providing security control. Finally, the Chief of Staff of the Gendarmerie Nationale invited his guests to refreshments at the Hoche Conference Center. Let's follow.
Qui s'apprête à arrêter un véhicule.
Arrête-toi ici. Arrête-toi. C'est quoi ça? C'est chez moi, je peux vous le... Qu'est-ce que vous voulez, monsieur? Qu'est-ce que vous voulez? C'est moi, secteur ici. Il faut arrêter. Faut s'arrêter. Mets-toi à genoux. Mets-toi à genoux, vite. Reste comme ça. Faut pas bouger.
Kim, dépossédé de son bien, contacte rapidement la gendarmerie nationale.
Qu'est-ce qu'ils veulent? Merde! Qu'est-ce que vous voulez?
L'équipe de patrouille de la gendarmerie arrive.
C'est la gendarmerie! Je m'en fous! Sortez du véhicule!
Tu vas rentrer tout de suite en intervention sous vos yeux. Le chien immobilise l'individu et permet aux gendarmes intervenants de pouvoir intervenir en toute sécurité. Le chien et son moniteur ont été exprès éloignés du lieu. Voilà. Dès que le chien par mesure de sécurité, le moniteur ne va pas s'approcher du véhicule et va envoyer son chien qui va faire le boulot à sa place. Voilà. Le chien a marqué l'emplacement et va maintenant voir son moniteur pour la récompense.
Then the officials who were present were attended a military parade of the Gendarmerie, brilliantly executed by the troops of the Gendarmerie in an atmosphere charged with fervor under the acclamation of the official present at this occasion.
Féminin de la gendarmerie nationale, conduit par la capitaine Sami Issa Yama.
avez devant vous du groupement de gendarmerie mobile, conduit par le chef d'escadron, Abdussalam Omar. Mesdames et messieurs,
The Prime Minister then went to the foot of the moment dedicated to the mistress to lay a wreath and read the Fatiha. In the continuation of our reports dedicated to achievements of the IOG Foundation for Housing, we take you today to meet a young girl and her family, some of whom are affected by albinism. They have been living for 3 years in the Nasib city. Dora Hassan and her family in this following report.
From albinos, Dara Hassan has lived since 2019 in the Nasib neighborhood with her parent and her sister who has this genetic disease, a disease characterized by a lack of melanin in the epidermis. Melanin, which is a natural pigment that protects the skins and eye from the sun's ultraviolet rays. Therefore, albinos are very sensitive to the light and therefore to heat, and they require a special protection. It is in this context that the IOJ Foundation for Housing has came to the aid of these families, which for 3 years has joined the hundreds of Lord IOJ Foundation and supported by this institution. The mother of the family shared with us the deep difference and change that she granted and encountered a situation that improved over the time. She said, "We lived before in a rented house in Wahlidaba, and now, Alhamdulillah, we have an air conditioning and the electricity is free. Dora Hassan has a work today. She is working in the CNSS and she has been recruited shortly after the filling of her candidacy as a very morning. And as every morning she points like the others of the employees. She very integrate into her environment of working. Dora Hassan is part of about 20 families who benefit from financial assistance from the CNSS and at the same time as a medical association. With her salary, which has just been added to the different benefit, Dora Hassan leads a life of everything that can be normal, far from the worries. As for Dora, there are hundreds of families who have seen their living condition change for the better with the IUG Foundation for Housing.
Moving towards the international scene now, the objective for the Brazilian progressive leader to restore the diplomatic ties deteriorated under the presidency of Jair Bolsonaro. In particular, he spoke at length with Bolivarian President Luis Arce, both of whom are anxious to strengthen cooperation on social policies, energy, and fertilizer supply. Policies, energy, major regional concerns since the outbreak of the war in Ukraine. For his part, the Argentinian President Alberto Fernandez welcomed the return to power of the former trained unionist. I believe that President Lula is a regional leader, that he will give a very important impulse to Latin America. His presence at the head of Brazil marks the return of the country in all international forums, he said. Sports now, no need to talk about decline or early retirement. Cristiano Ronaldo assures that his move to Saudi Arabia does not mean the end of his career.
Ronaldo assured that his arrival in Saudi Arabia is not synonymous with the end of his career. The Portuguese striker was presented last night with great fanfare to the supporters of his new club, Al Nassr, acclaimed as a rock star. He spoke about his golden exile, which should bring him 200 million euros in 2.5 years. Asked by journalists about this important tigering, he was content to answer with a smile. "I am unique, therefore I have a unique contract," he said. He also claimed that his work in Europe was done because he had won everything and played for the most important clubs, namely Sporting, Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Juventus.
Well, by this, our beloved viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.